Congressional Budget Office, independent, nonpartisan. They used to give the Democrats hell when they were in charge of Congress by actually putting out real numbers. Because politicians hate it when you put out real numbers, because they want to cheat. Okay, so these guys put together an estimate of how much the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan are going to cost by 2017. $2.4 trillion. Trillion. Now remember this. Before the war started, Paul Wolfowitz said it's not going to cost anything. He said the Iraqi oil is going to pay for it. There's going to be so much revenue. We're going to make money in this war, man. It's going to be great. And Andrew Natsios went for the Bush administration in front of Congress and said, well, at most it'll cost $1.7 billion. $1.7 billion, and it wound up costing $2.4 trillion. Now, Chrissy, you're working there, in Washington. You got another job. Can you imagine if you go up to, Podesta, and you say, hey, Joe, I'm going to throw a birthday party for Faz who runs Think Progress, right?
Right. It's
going to cost $170, but everybody's going to have fun, and, there's going to be balloons, and it's going to help morale. You think your boss might say, yeah, okay, $170 for a birthday party. That makes sense. And then you came back to him and said, oh, look, it was a minor problem, but I already paid for it. It's not a big deal. It's going to cost $240,000 instead. Now, what do you think his reaction would be?
That's the thing. And then I said, and by the way, next week I'm going to throw another birthday party for Nico, and it's going to cost $170.
Right. Now,
that's the thing that gets me. I always think about it, my parents are always having something done to the house, and I was just thinking, let's say you have a contractor come in to fix your porch roof or something, and he gives you an estimate of, $1,000. He comes back a couple weeks later and says, I didn't finish the work. I wrecked the rest of your porch. Sorry. I killed your dog, and it's going to cost $50,000. And us, the U.S., basically said, oh, really? Okay, next would you start on the kitchen? That's what makes no sense to me, is that we keep hiring the same contractors, we keep trying to get into new and bigger and badder wars, and there is absolutely no accountability and no one is responsible for this crazy mess. And we don't have enough money for kids' health insurance. Just try to throw that in there.
Christy, the only parts of your analogy I disagree with is, first of all, it wouldn't be $50,000. It'd definitely be $500,000.
Okay, $500,000.
And it wouldn't be killing your dog. I accidentally killed your daughter, and by the way, 1,000 of your neighbors.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
I'll go with that.
And can I just start on the kitchen next week? And we're having a serious discussion. Should he? Should he start in the kitchen? Should he not start in the kitchen? Should we rehire that guy?
Makes no sense. It just makes, you can tell, there was the whole thing about George Bush's dad, being flabbergasted at seeing how the scanner worked in the grocery store. You can tell that these people have no real-life experience whatsoever because they just don't know how to manage a household budget, let alone a war. They just don't get it.
Well, Chrissy, you're a little wrong there because I think George W. Bush has a lot of real-life experience. Like when he took Arbusto and ran it into the ground, and when he took Spectrum 7 and ran it into the ground, and when he took Harkin Energy and ran it into the ground. He couldn't find oil in Texas or the Middle East. And this is the guy we hired.
That's so true.
I mean, you want to talk about hiring a contractor that's never had any success. We hired this guy twice. I mean,
well, that's true. And we're thinking about now hiring his friends for the next 4 years.
Yeah, the guys he's recommending. He's like, all right, yeah, I didn't work out. But you know what? Tony down the street or Rudy down the street.
Down at the dock.
Yeah. He's going to work out great for you, man. What I did ×2 with Rudy, you're going to love him. And people are like, oh, let's have a serious conversation about that.
Right. Whereas if you think about it, 7 years ago, for 8 years, we actually had someone who built the porch and built the house, and it just makes me nuts.
And by the way,
it makes me crazy.
Did it unlike any other contractor or politician ever? Did it on budget?
Right.
When's the last time a politician or a president balanced the budget? I mean, literally. When's the last time?
Then I have a surplus. You know what I'm going to throw in? I'm going to fix your upstairs bathroom for free.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to come back and just focus on this for one quick second before we move on. Really, the ratio that I'm talking about, $1.7 billion to $2.4 trillion, is exactly what we just talked about there. It's either $170, say to your boss, hey, it'll cost $170. Instead, it winds up costing $240,000.
Yeah.
Now, who at your jobs, as you listen to this, who wouldn't get fired? I mean, who wouldn't get laughed out of the room? They'd look into private contractors to somehow get you, take over the lien on your house, something. I mean, for you to say something's going to cost $170 at work and it costs $240,000? Come on, man. And it's just mind-blowing that we're having serious conversations about whether we should trust these folks on anything.